a lot of people that look just like me, and we all talk about the same stuff. And you know what? We're sitting in a meeting and we say things like, "Oh yeah, we'll ship that. We'll ship. There'll be nothing wrong with that." And we ship it. You know what? There's something that doesn't quite fit. Either it completely explodes in production, or we didn't have a big enough diversity to understand the people that might be using it. Because maybe we're surrounded by so much of people that look the same and have the same background as us, but we just need to have more people in there. Oh. Yeah, it coming through all right, I think. If I hold it out here, what does the green bar do? Okay. I think it's safe to hear. Cool. Thank you, Anna. I've got a different kind of talk. It's gonna be interesting. So I just wanted to glue together a bunch of stuff and just see if it would work. And I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I needed an excuse for it. Basically, there's this radio station that we listen to in the car all the time called Radio Hauraki, and we love the playlist they have, but then when we leave the area of reception, I can't get that stuff. But Spotify is offline mode, so I just really wanted to glue these things together to see if it would work. Now, what I've done is all of these slides are actual code examples that I'm going to copy paste and try to run. So it might turn into a complete disaster depending on the demo gods, or it might work out just fine. It's also going to be kind of messy. There's no TDD happening here or anything like that. I just want to show you what it took for me to do that, and I want to give a sort of beginner's perspective, because some things jumped out at me as being like, what? Oh, that makes a bit more sense now that I've done this, but I'll never get those insights again because I needed to do it the first time, and so that's what I'm sharing with you today. So I'm just going to jump in then. Radio Hauraki. It was originally something off. This is Auckland. If you don't know what Auckland looks like, it's sort of this shape. They started out by broadcasting from 66 to 70 off the coast, and it was a pirate station. So they weren't supposed to do that. And then it became legal to do private radio, and they're ad supported, like most things. You know, you watch TV, you listen to the radio. They're selling your listenership onto advertisers, and that's how they make the cash monies. But I thought that's a really, really cool piece of history. I thought that it was a bit longer than that, to be honest, but it wasn't. So the fun thing is that this thing where I'm taking the playlist might be kind of like piracy. So I'm pirating a pirate station. So don't actually do this. I might publish the code, but like don't be mean to them. Like don't try it at home. Listen to them if you can, and then maybe use this when you're offline. I've got a couple of ideas of how this could be, like this glued together stuff could work out. But yeah, so Ministry of Sound, just says Ministry, lol. Ministry of Sound, they took Spotify to court over people just making playlists that looked like their albums. So yeah, it might be dodgy, but there's so few of us, and I'm hoping that it's okay. Okay, so goals. What do I want to do? I want to find stuff that's published as published somewhere, and I want to tear the songs out, and I want to give them a little bit of structure. Then I want to sign into Spotify, and then I want to manipulate the stuff. You guys have probably all got a little bit of programming background, so you've probably thought ahead on this, but I like to say it out loud. It gives me a bit of momentum. This is a web page on the internet. It has tabular data. Tabular data is data. I love it. This seems to be updating all the time on iHeartRadio. So let's jump into NetHTTP. All right, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to talk now. AJ, can you tell me if the green is still green? Sweet. Okay, now I'm just going to whip out the console and see if I can do this. I just want to know, am I still presenting to everyone? Look out for my cat. He's cool. He's Watson. Is that still showing up down there too? Sweet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Go path under source, which is where we put all of our Go stuff. I'm going to go into getlab.com because it's the new hotness. I'm going to go to Hey Matthew because that's me on the internet. And then I'm going to rm my Hauraki playlists Right, hopefully that goes all right then, because now it's just slides. Making directory, Hauraki, Hauraki playlist. That'll do. CD into there, and I'm going to get in it just in case. Okay, so what have I got now? I have a directory which has just nothing in it. So I'm going to start with Vim, which is a great text editor if you haven't had it. You might get to know me a bit through it. Old habits and all that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name this, and I'm going to keep it outside of my main function. It's a bit different when you're inside of your main function. You can't do the colon equal stuff. You just have to do the equal stuff, and then it can be manipulated and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, it's just a way of keeping it there. It's a bit naff, but this is how you might copy all the slides. Go away. This is. Nope, did it again. Okay, cool. One time. Paste. And close that and save it. Sweet. Now all the formatting's there. Make that a little bit bigger, smaller. Alright, so when I saved it, my editor went, because Vim is amazing, and put in the imports at the top. If the imports don't match the stuff in there or they're unused, Go explodes. There's some really good things out there now for text editors that auto-manage this stuff. So I don't want to jump into that, but I do want to talk about code. It's going to use net HTTP to pull the request down. That is going to give me maybe an error. I'm going to panic with the error and crash if I have to. Close the body later with infer, so that happens at the end of that function. Some of you will know that, but I'm just trying to come at it from a beginner's perspective. Then I just want to read everything that's in the body and print it out to the screen. And if that works, then we're in business. So go run main.go. Please work. Please work. Yes! There we go. Okay, first slide over. Jumping to the next thing. Okay, so we saw tabular data, and the tabular data kind of looks like this. And so on the first part, you've got when it happened. Don't care about that. I care about the third part. So I need a library to tear through web pages. So there's one called XPath v2, which is pretty sweet. I'm going to go and I'm going to put that into my code and not do anything silly in front of everyone, please. Main go. What do I need? I need to put it up here. I need to replace that. I need to put that there. Sweet. So multiple imports, curly brackets. So that's going. I'm grabbing stuff from the XML path on a table and any T body with any TR and any TD in the second one and the third one. So that's artisan track select. Not using them, just put them in there. So that will explode in a second. Let's go run main.go. Doesn't know what to do. So I thought, hey, I might as well try out some of this Go modules stuff which just came out and I haven't had a chance to do it. So here's how Go modules works. There's like 8 competing places, standards or something that up until recently, and this is the one that they brought in and tried to make into a cool thing. So if you want to use Go modules, you need to run go mod init and then the path to your checkout. So in this case, I've got getlab.com, hey Matthew, Hauraki playlist. So I would write go mod init, and I'll paste that in. And if I look at my files here, you'll see now that I have a go.mod file, which has just shown up. And that was created, and when that is present, all the Go toolchain goes into this mode which uses Go modules, which is pretty sweet. If I cat that Go mod file, you'll see that it's pretty empty. So let's make it less empty. Let's run that thing again without doing anything. It's going to go, I need to go and pull down the latest versions of things. And then it runs that script. Sweet. If I cat that Go mod file, it now contains information about the dependencies of my project, and they're pinned to those hashes and those tags, which is pretty cool. That's what you want in a versioning thing. Man, it's been a while. Maybe should have done it sooner, but it's me. Yeah, what else did it do? It made a GoSum file. So GoSum is a bunch of checksums, and I believe these are also published in a public place, and there are people that are professional gossipers that talk about when somebody feels pushed over the top of their other stuff so that we don't get left padded, I hope. But I'm not that experienced in this. This is new to me, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But yeah, from what I understand, my directory now has a sum file and a mod file and my main.go file, which is what we've been working in. And as I change it, they're going to be updated. So where do these binaries go? They go into the GoPath package directory, and they just look like the thing that gets pulled down. So they've got that big URL right there. They get compiled into your binary at the end of that. So jump into the next slide. All right, let's grab those artists. So you saw that it ran, which is cool. Oops, foreground. So I've got here, I've got an XML parsed DOM, and I've got two iterators that I'm making out of those XPath doohickeys. I know that it's a table, so tabular data is going to have rows. So I know that when I run out of tracks, then I can stop. So I've got an infinite loop here, which just says as long as I can grab the next thing, go ahead and print it out. So let's see if we can take that garbage that we saw before, beautiful garbage for somebody who's using web browser, but not for me. And I'm going to replace this stuff over here with exactly that in an auto format. Yes! Okay, let's see if that runs. So it's still grabbing the web page. It's still got this, it's still got a buffer there. It's still going to close it at the end of the function, but this time we're going to parse the page. There we go. Boom. Bruce Springsteen. Right up the top. Muse, sorry. Muse. Guns N' Roses. These, I like these songs. I hope people like these songs too. So there we go. We've got like the first bit. Let's tidy this up. So Golang has structs. For people that aren't familiar with them, structs are not classes, but they're kind of like classes. They're a way of giving you like really cheap way of talking about objects and behavior. So I'm going to make one called song. The song has two strings in it, an artist and a track, and it's got a way of formatting itself. So that should be good. And then the next bit is a playlist, which is a list of songs. So a list of things which have those other things. Yeah. I'm just pasting them straight in. This is going to be hacky as, but it's going to do the trick. And how would we use that? Well, here's something similar to what we had in the main part of the app. It's just running on the DOM and doing all that stuff and scraping it out, appending it to a playlist, and using those objects and then returning it right down here. And so that is a method so that our main thing doesn't feel so cluttered. Okay, and you notice that my editor is shouting at me because I've stopped caring about error cases. But that's not what you would do. That's just what I'm doing for the sake of showing you how these things might work. So I'm going to run this again, and it still works. But I'm not using the new thing.
Can you show the list again?
Sure. There you go. News.
By plugin, it's not the swapped, the name of the artist and the song.
So what happened? What happened? Let's have a look.
Sorry.
No, it's fine, it's fine. You have a point there. What have I done? Artist selector, track selector.
No, it might be the formatted string, just remove this one.
There we go. So artist node string tracks. So it's going artist by track. which is wrong.
Just order of the params for the string.
So, I wanna just say that I noticed this in another part while I was preparing this, and I changed it here. So what I've done is I made sure it's it's tracking artist. No, it is right. So it would be news would be the artist, track would be the. I think we're okay if what I do is I backspace that stuff and I just use our new method by going play. No, what do we call it? Now playing. Now playing. Okay, so if I go Funks, println, bananas, now playing. Okay, let's give that a go. And it should swap them around and maybe be right.
Yay!
Woohoo! Thanks so much. As I go, if you see errors, feel free to jump in and tell me about it, because this is also a multi-programming exercise. So we're all learning together, and if there's something that I'm doing too fast, slow me down, ask me about it. I'm going to try to be detailed in some ways. I hope it's not boring. Jump into the next bit. All right, let's run it frequently, every 10 seconds. So this is functional programming. It takes a function, which is named runner, and just runs it. And it sleeps for 10 seconds, and then it runs it in an infinite loop for 4. This is a function. That takes a function. Do it.
Why 10 seconds?
I don't know.
Average start is more than 10 seconds.
So when I was preparing this, it took me about 10 seconds for some other parts of the presentation, because OSX starts to ask me if I'm allowed to open up a port every single slide, and then it just gives me a whole pile of grief. So let's go every 10 seconds, and it's going to take a function, so anonymous function, like that. Boom, close my bananas, close my moustaches. Will it run? Will it run forever? It will run until the program panics when the website goes down, because 10 seconds, I don't know, maybe it'll go down, maybe the network will go down. There we go, twice, sweet. Okay, so we got to that bit. And that's the thing that I typed out by hand. Jumping into the next bit, what have we done? We've got songs, we've got extracted meaning from those songs, we've attached some functions to those things that have meaning. Now we're going to jump into Spotify. Google told me that this one was pretty good. It's all right. They're all about as bad as each other. Spotify has a really good API though, so it's always about that beginning bit. Who's used single sign-on here? Hands up. Oh yeah. So that's pain that we're going to have to go through together. I'm sorry. Just cover your eyes or grab a beer if you need the therapy. So the other thing we need to manage is secrets. We all have secrets, and sometimes we should not check them in and push them to the internet. So there's this thing that I've been using called dirinf, and it's a little program. And if you've got an envrc and you see the internet, it auto-loads those environment variables into your exports. If you get out of there, it unloads them. It's really cool. It means that I can show you stuff without my work secrets exploding out onto the screen. So I'm going to do that from this page here. So, where are we? So at the moment, we've still got just go.mod, go.sum, main.go. I'm going to go to this web page here, and if everything is good, then I'm going to log in. And I was already logged in. And I'm going to create a new app. This one I made earlier, but I want you all to see everything. So, what's it going to be called? No, good names. Call out some names. Anything you like. Ralph is cool. There we go. Ralph was a great name that we used for our January Golang meetup. What are you building? I don't know. website. There we go. Next. Are you developing a commercial integration? No, this is just, I understand, submit. Legit. Don't abuse this secret while it's up. I'll delete it after the thing. Okay, so you have an ID and a secret, which is kind of the standard, the Joe Bog standard way of doing stuff. So I'm going to go and create an env.rc file. I'm going to plop that stuff in there, or without the G. Lol. Sorry about the G. It's G though. There's one hash. There's another hash. It's got some red. I'm going to close this so that I don't get hacked. Don't worry about that. I was just lost. So this red says env.rc is blocked because it could run any malicious stuff. And if I checked it in and it ran off people's machines, so it doesn't check some stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm just going to run that command because YOLO. Boom, exported that stuff. So I'm going to go env, and that just displays all my env things, and I'm going to grep for Spotify. That's just Spotify stuff. So I might have work secrets on this machine, I can't remember, and other secrets, but if I'm in this directory, I've got these exported, and if I'm in another directory, I don't. So if I go up, unloading, reloading, those three things. Boom. So now we've got something out in our environment. So we need to be signed in. So one of the things you might have seen me put in secretly was this here, which is the client callback. So the idea is you go, you authenticate, you put in your password, or you're already logged in, and it sends you back with a token, and then your web server goes and says this, and then you signed it. It's pretty cool. Jumping on to the next bit. What will we do for this? Okay, so I've got some basic things here. So I'll start from the top. That is the library that I was talking to you guys about just before, and girls? I'll just say girls from now on. It just sounds more legit. So these two things I want to use. I want to use UUID because we had to have some kind of token in the negotiation, and I wasn't that creative. Here's some variables that I want to set up so that I don't do it in the main function. Probably better to do that too, but I just want to prove it out. Auth is the authenticator, which asks for particular permissions, and it gets out of the secrets. It gets the Spotify redirect here. So there goes. That's the string that gets injected in there. The client is just a Spotify client. That's the type. It's not being set to anything. It's a null value. It's null value until it gets set. And state is literally that UUID string. Then if we jump on in, Spotify URL is the one that I have to click in order to be logged in. And that's the reason why it's 10 seconds. Because it takes me about that long to do that cycle. Spotify handler is the thing that we're about to use in our main function in order to spin up a web server. It takes an HTTP responsible writer and a request, which is given to it by the interface that we're going to inject it into, because functional programming rocks. Then here's some stuff which basically says, check the token. This I copy pasted. That LGTM is just a way of us seeing that it's all good, and it writes it out. So yeah, let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. Import to here. Foreground. No, main. Okay, back in main. I'm going to plop it on down to the bottom. No, I'm not. I'm going to put it up the top because I like to live dangerously. And the formatting seemed to work, so we're good there. And it also moved those exports up there. Okay, so these exports I haven't used yet. So go, run, who knows? Will it know? Will it know? Didn't say anything. Go mod. Ha! So this is now updated. You can see that the UUID library has been pulled down and added to that go mod file, and so has a bunch of its dependencies and the Spotify thing. Sweet. It really is like the new hotness. Moving to the next slide. Not creating right. Cool. Alright, so that's great, but we aren't actually using these until we plug them in. There's a bug here. while I copy paste, I'm going to ask if anyone can see it, and then I'll show it to you. It's a sweet bug. It's real sweet. From the main function. There we go. Main func. So I don't need that every 10 seconds. Just need this bit. Copy and not highlight. Any takers? Anyone see the bug? So why is it that it doesn't say go to at the top of this? Or at the bottom of this? Yes? Yes! Excellent. So, yeah, what's happening in every 10 seconds is the whole main thread is being passed into that, and it's just sitting there and it's waiting to go. So, how would we fix this up? Easy. Just put go in front of it, and then it goes off into its own little world in another thread. We don't have to do into process columns because I didn't want to do them in this talk, maybe another time. But, go run. Nice. Allow. So this is the annoying thing. So now I've got a link which looks like a Spotify client, and if I click it, it opens up here and doesn't like what I did. Okay, this is the fun bit. So let's have a look at MVRC. So the error message tells me that it doesn't have the right callback. So let's go back a couple slides, and I'll click back on that thing again, and I'll make sure that it has the right callback on it. So Ralph is cool. No data available. So edit on here. Redirect URIs. Adding localhost. Boom. Hopefully that works. So localhost is being injected into the client auth, and the client auth is going, I understand that, and I'm requesting it, and the remote is going, nah. But now that I've put it into Spotify, Spotify's expecting it, and all the trust. So sorry. Allow. Open. Okay. I can view account data. I agree. Looks good to me. That's cool, and it didn't crash. Sweet. So, let's see how far we can get before the next crash. Jumping. Every 10 seconds. All right, now we're going to do a search. Bye. So, what I want to do is I want to take those Spotify tracks and I want to search for them using the Spotify API so that I can go and add them to a playlist. Yeah, let's do it. So here I've got a little function which I declared, which is the current song, which is just an easy way of getting the last thing on the playlist, because there was a lot of stuff there and getting a bit lazy. So yeah, P is playlist. We're attaching it to the playlist struct. We're looking into the struct. We're just grabbing the 0th song, the first thing on that list, because it's the last page. And then we're going to use it in our main function up here. For the search. So main. There we go. So popping on down. What are we going to do? In here, every 10 seconds, we're going to look up the latest playing track, which might be abusive. Who knows? Let's see. Yeah, let's just see. So search returns something that has tracks inside of it, and that's because of the way that it's doing its wrapping. It just reused the names. It's a bit weird. I can show you why. I use this thing in Vim where I go control and then I use the square brackets and it jumps me to the definition. So tracks is a full track page inside of the search file. And if I look at what that has, if I go back again, I look at what this is the tracks themselves, they're JSON items. And oopsies, if I go back again to where we were, that's just going to print them out so that we can see if it worked or not. Go run main.go. Oh, it doesn't like now playing. Why did I call it now playing? What a terrible name. Did I call it something? Ah, okay. so now playing. I actually want to call it playlist because I think I call it that later. Playlist is going to be first time set to now playing. Playlist is our playlist that we defined earlier on that struct. And it's going to grab the current song and it's going to turn that into a string and it's going to shove it into the first argument of client.search. And it's searching for a type of thing, which could be anything, could be an album, an artist, a playlist, but in this case it's a track because we're building up these things. So let's go run it. I'm going to allow that. You're going to get so used to me clicking that button. Oop. 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 Invalid memory address. Cool. Okay, what was that? Okay, going back here. Hit a deadline. No point of dereference. Ah, okay. So who can spot the bug?
Calling now, playing twice.
Sorry?
Calling now, playing twice. Reuse.
Nope. Sorry, can you speak up? This bit here. Next line here. No. I'll tell you what it is. So this client here is not set until we click that URL, but we run it straight away. And so what's happening is we're going client to search and it's going kaboom! So we need a way of not doing that. So if clients, let's just say if client is empty, so that's the same as saying, what is this? This seems to be Spotify.client. So let's go Spotify lowercase client, empty, then return. In Ruby you would be returning from the main block, but in this case in Go you're returning from that. I think that's going to make it, didn't explode, looks good to me, will it run again? Will it run again? Come on, 10 seconds, and there we go, sweet. So that was waiting a little bit of time to actually run the search, and this is the raw output from JSON converted into a struct that is represented by that Spotify library that we had. Could You Be Loved by Bob Marley. Good song. Very good song. All right. Moving to the next slide bit. All right. So now we want playlists. So here's a way of grabbing playlists. I'm at it for time. Oh, 7:20. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'm grabbing the current user off the client. Then I'm going to grab all the playlists for that user, and I'm going to print out all the playlists. Go run. Allow. Click. Looks good to me. And there we go. Grand Budapest, great movie, good soundtrack, and I name my things after months because I go through playlists like crazy. All right, so that's a lot of output. Jumping into the next bit. Okay, today I learned this. If you have a structure inside of your struct, then you can't just do this trick here. So this trick here takes the empty struct of your and it checks it against the thing that you set in var. But if you have a map or a list, you can't do that. You have to take something in there that is a simple thing and check that instead. So this is how we so that will explode there using that trick. Spotify simple playlist, compared to playlist, boom. Instead, it's better to do this. If the length of the playlist ID is 0, no, not 0, is 0. I did some other slides, I should get pulled. The other slide's better. Yeah, check some property on it. I learned that. That was cool. So now we want to find our playlist, or create it, but I don't know how to create it just yet. Out of time, I'm just going to panic instead of actually doing that. So paste. I've got a new function now called find or create playlist. It does some stuff there. Let's go and make a playlist. I'm just going to get pulled. We're truly living in the future. So these are Webby slides. There we go. It's done. Cool. Did we do that? Today I learned. That's the better slide that tells you about handling stuff. And here's the actually updated thing. So I'm going to make a variable to save the playlist so that we only look it up once. I'm going to iterate through all the playlists or panic. Go run. No. Go run. Allow. Click. Looks good to me. No seg faults, please. No seg faults, please. Playlists. It's not finding one. It should be hitting panic. The reason it isn't is because I think I'm... Oh, don't you hate it? We're not using it. I'm sorry. I'm going to go and say in here, I want to find or create that playlist, and I want to go firmt print line that. So we don't need to do that iterating through every playlist anymore. We do need the search, but we don't need to print it out. Go run. Oh, let's print it out. Let's print it out. Go run thing. Go. One more time. Allow. Click. Looks good to me. Close. And should be shorter than 10 seconds. No, it exploded. Okay. The reason it exploded is because it wants a playlist called Hauraki. So let's go over here. Let's make a new playlist. Hauraki. Create. Okay. And it wants that. It's an empty playlist. It wants that because I hard-coded it in here. Name Hauraki. There's other techniques to make these. So now it shouldn't explode. Allow, click, looks good to me. Yes, okay, so it's found my playlist. Okay, so I've got all the songs, I've got them in a struct, I've got the playlist. Now we just need to manipulate those things. So this is how I think we would do it. I think we would go add tracks to playlist, and then we should be apples. We should be done, and then you can all think about getting another beer. I should have given you some time to do that, actually. Foreground, dropping down a bit to find and create playlist. That looks like I've got a whole section here where I can just paste it in. Hopefully that works. Okay, so what's going to happen? It's going to do the search, as we did before. It's going to print out the tracks, the first track. It's going to then find or create. It's going to search, and then if there's some problem, it's going to print it out, and it's going to continue its merry way. So go, run, main, go. Also, it's going to explode. I have to do one more thing. Yes! No. That's a different error. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. Index out of range 0 with length 0. Function line 63. Let's go to line 63. 63. Tracks, track 0. Do we need search in that way? We've got it everywhere. Let's get rid of that. Oh, but it does. It does need it. It needs it here, so it would just explode there. So the search must be wrong. and I've had this a couple of times, so I'm going to hack it just for you. Just for you all. Let's not go with the... So every now and then, there is a New Zealand thing, or there is an international thing, and it's just not on Spotify. And so this find or create, and this find track does not work. So what we need to do is we need to choose a different song. So let's have a look at current song, and let's hack it to be number 5, given there's 10 in that list. And I hope this works. Allow, click the button, explode in a predictable way. Looks good to me. 10 seconds should pass. Tom Petty could do the thing. Oh, there we go. That's the error I was expecting. Insufficient client scope. Okay, so Spotify gets quite granular with their scopes. So they said you should understand them, blah, blah, blah. I found this page here where I want this playlist modified private, and I found all of these things need to be fed in at the beginning when you set up your client. Let's do some more copy-paste. Into an authenticator. How did I find out about that? I think I was just spelunking the code. There it goes. So you've got auth, Spotify new authenticator. We need more than that. We need all these. Oh, not everything, but all those. Yeah. And I'll get rid of that. Okay, so now it's going to be requesting more things. Go, run, main, go. That does the thing. I go allow. I click the button. I open the page. It says looks good to me. No, it doesn't. It says Ralph is cool. I agree to these new permissions that it's asking me, because I've read all those things. It says looks good to me. Now it should explode with a different thing. Index 0 at a range. So let's try a different current song. Let's go for the third one. It was way better earlier in the day. I think it's just that as the evening goes in, they get more and more interesting DJs going on. Okay, let's see. I know this guy Charlie. He's so cool. He does. He's into all sorts of funny stuff. Different radio station. Radioactive. Is that working? Oh wait, it's not going to print out anything. Boom! Could you be loved? 8-bit Bob Marley emulator. That's what I love about these guys. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do is to deduplicate it. And I'm not going to do it with you, but you're going to have to believe me that, yes, we can hack it together. So what I've done here is I've taken the last track and saved it to, I've saved its ID, and I've just said, look, return from inside my curry function if I've already seen that ID from the last run. So it just runs in a loop. What should I have done? Well, I mean, I needed to know how these things worked first. Like, TDD is a lot when you don't have any idea. So what I would do is I would throw everything away, just like I did at the beginning of this, but I would do it in a quiet, less stressful situation. And I'd try to do it more TDD, and I'd try to break it out. Handle those error cases, which I skipped over a lot. Error cases are like the important bit. That's usually when you don't want to be awake. Break out a few more files, move more behavior into the structures. What else? I've learned that glue code can be really cool if you've got a couple of ideas and you can smoosh them together. It just seems to feel like this happy place in your hacker heart. Believe me, you're gonna love it if you do it. Go modules, they're simple, they're cool. Use them if you can. Even on toy projects, starts as a toy, turns into production. You know how it goes. Empty struct comparison is weird. That thing that I learned, yeah. Like choose a field, call it an ID, call it whatever. Yeah. Could be better. What would I like to do from here? And it plays. That'd be sweet. Like those play controls are there. All you need is like a threshold on the mic and 2 claps within some distance of each other. Boom. Is piracy because it's their playlist? They own the IP to that. They pay people. What I'd like to do is more like derivative work, maybe statistical analysis of what people are choosing when they're on. That'd be kind of cool, because I don't like everything they play during the day, but I know that the mornings and the evenings have some fun stuff. offline songs for our trip south, because we're planning one, me and my wife, and that would be so cool. I skipped a slide about me. I'm Matthew, and I run this somehow, but only out of love. I do Ruby by day, and I do Golang by night. I work for a place called Story Park, and I will be for the next month. Then after that, I don't have any plans. I've just said I don't want to do this particular thing. This is not challenging me in the same way. Lovely group of people. They're so great, but I just need to feel something new. So I've left them alone. So if any one of you wants to work with me, I've got a couple of CVs in my pocket, and I'm ready to be talked to. But if not, that's cool too. Actually, it's more interesting for me to encourage any of you to come forward and give a presentation. At any level, there's got to be someone who needs this advice. Just think of yourself 1 year ago. What advice would you give yourself 1 year ago? There is someone at that level, and they would love to learn from you. And that journey, it's so, so cool. It doesn't matter how prepared you are. Come talk with me after this, and we'll work something out. There's some other stuff as well. There's a Go Bridge thing that I'm going to actually give you a second for that after this, because this is a stage. But first, some questions about the talk that just happened. Anyone? Yes?
Like you ever think about use another language or libraries to make your stuff run instead of Go? For example, streaming capabilities or media.
So I think that question, because there's remote people, is that have I thought about other ways that I might implement the same problem, maybe with other libraries or other languages? Is that right? I've never done this one before in particular, but the APIs are really open, well documented, and they're kind of nice. The login flow is a bit bad. I'd probably do it in Ruby, but I like it as like a challenge to learning something. If you take a couple of things that are related somehow, where you have to do a lot of integration, you kind of go through this learning cycle that it's like a flywheel, and it's so exciting. So yeah, this might be a good maybe second project in Golang or third project. Would I use other libraries? I might drop down a level and write my own, because tracks 0. That's a bit naff. I want to have something that's a bit more high level. Maybe the structs themselves understand how to go straight to the web and reuse that stuff. Playlist could be a bit more intelligent. Yeah. So I would totally redo this. This is actually just a hack. Other questions? Well, I used to be, and a few people still think I am, a JavaScript guy. This is Reveal.js, and it is an open source project. If you do fork it, you're going to have to deal with the MIT license, and probably if you want to publish it and all that. And it's just a pleasure to use. You end up writing things in Markdown if you want, or all sorts of other stuff. It's got transitions, it's got audio recording things, it's got so many plugins. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and I use it because I wanted to do something simple without thinking about the details too much. And the colors are, it's probably not that obvious, or it might be solarized, because solarized is